We just got huge positive news about the Batman Part 2, and we're going to cover everything today. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy, your Chaos. And there has been a lot of worry out there in the Batman community, not knowing if we were ever going to get Batman Part 2. I've been critical myself, saying you can't have a Part 1 and have it be such an amazing movie, and then we get Part 2 6 years later. Well, we have a new report and new news that is really, really good positive news for the community and for the future of Batman. Drop a like, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications, and yes, I read every single comment on every single video. A new report says Matt Reeves has finally handed in the script and Warner Brothers plans to start filming in January of 2026. That may seem like a ways off, but it'll be here before you know it. It's right after Robert Pattinson finishes shooting Dune Messiah, or Dune 3, and that was the big worry. It was actually a scheduling worry with everybody on when can Robert actually play this part. Now, this keeps the sequel on track for its October 1st, 2027 release. And what does that mean? Well, we're going to break it down. The schedule updates, Pattinson's packed filming year, James Gunn's recent comments, spoiler, he's defending Reeves, and the wildest villain rumors that are out there. I mean, the ever-popular Hush versus Court of Owls debate. We're going to talk about it. Plus, we're going to recap the hot back-to-back Dune 3 Batman 2 rumor that got everybody talking the other day. So let's start off with the script and the schedule. I mean, we've heard from Puck News via Superhero Hype that the script is done, and Reeves is turning it in. It's like he's turning in his homework. Warner Brothers has said that they want cameras rolling in January of next year. Now that ties into the goal of hitting the October 1st, 2027 release window. That's all good news. The date moved from 2025 a while back. In other words, if everything goes perfectly according to plan, we're going to start shooting a year from now, and that will make it come out in fall of 2027. For context, the first film premiered in March 2022, and it was a huge hit. So WB obviously is itching for part 2, and so are the fans. Now, the timeline has been uncertain, so this is good progress. And Reeves delivered his script on Monday per insiders, and now pre-production can finally ramp up. Imagine how exciting that is on the inside. Fans were worried when the DC Studios chiefs, Gunn and Safran, expected a script years ago, but it sounds like things are moving in the right direction. And all that means is there's no more delay pop-ups. We could see filming begin winter of next year, and that sequel comes in 2027. Now, Pattinson's back-to-back shoot schedule. That's what everybody's talking about. Yesterday's rumors came out with Robert Pattinson filming Dune 3 and the Batman 2 back-to-back. The Dexerto Post and Now Puck Scoop reminds us that Pattinson is expected to finish Dune Messiah before jumping straight into his Gotham role. In fact, a Warner Brothers insider specifically says filming on Batman 2 is slated right after Pattinson wraps up Dune. So that back-to-back claim isn't just fans talking. That is basically the real-life plan. I mean, given Dune Messiah is shooting this summer, it looks like Pattinson's fall 2025 and winter 2026 will all be Batman. Now, the studio clearly wants to keep him available, so they'll start Batman 2 in January of 2026, meaning Pattinson can hop off the desert, and then he can go straight into the Batcave. And that scheduling push keeps the sequel on track, like everything we've said. Once again, it's nice when it's a positive video. Now, the timeline, a timeline this long, people are getting restless. Some online have been upset about delays, but DC Studios co-head James Gunn has been out there shutting down the armchair critics, and there's a lot of them. He essentially told people to calm down about Matt Reeves taking time. Gunn's blunt message was, and I quote, "People should get off Matt's nuts and let him ride at his own pace. And Reeves doesn't owe anyone a speedy movie just because they like the first one." I agree. He reminded fans in a recent interview that we're supposed to get a script in June and that Reeves is working the way that he needs to. What's more is James Gunn has debunked a bunch of wild speculation. It's what he's known for. Fans have been circulating rumors. For instance, a claim that Clayface and Scarecrow would appear. Gunn was quick to say that couldn't be the case since there isn't even a finalized script yet. In short, a lot of the villains people are talking about online are just that. They're just talk. They're not confirmed. Reeves himself has only said there will be new villains beyond Riddler, but we don't know who, and there's so many villains in the Batman universe to pick from, nobody knows. I mean, for now, trust the official word. Reeves is writing and handing in, and Gunn, well, he's not going to rush him for anything. So if he did turn it in, that's a good thing. There's also another big question out there. How will Batman 2 fit into the new James Gunn era DC universe? The answer, well, you already know, probably. It doesn't. Well, you know what? At least for now. Gunn himself recently hinted that Reeves' Batman films are likely staying in their own world. But when asked if Pattinson's Batman could cross over into the new DCU, Gunn said the chances are not likely. In fact, Games Radar confirms that the Batman and its spin-off the Penguin will exist in a separate continuity, a different timeline, often called Elseworlds, of course, from Gunn's DC universe. Now, the upcoming Clayface movie, for example, is explicitly in the DCU, so we probably won't see Reeves' Clayface in Gotham either. It would probably confuse audiences, but he didn't shut the door completely. I mean, don't expect to see Pattinson's Batman at Gunn's Superman's premiere, or vice versa, anytime soon, but Reeves is charting his own course, and the studio's okay with letting these Batman movies stand and cook on their own. That being said, that separate status means Gunn and company respect Reeves' vision, but you never know. Never ever count out anything. Now let's do the fun part. Let's talk about villains. Who is Bruce Wayne gonna fight? Everyone has theories. You let me know what your best ones are in the comments, but we're gonna sort through the biggest ones. First off, our reports say Penguin, of course. Colin Farrell will definitely be back. That would be obvious. After all, his new series made him a breakout character. Reeves confirmed Farrell Oz is returning. As for the main villain, it's not going to be Penguin or villains. Reeves has been tight-lipped. He's only said there will be new villains, which basically means I won't tell, but then again, he said villains, not one. That hasn't stopped people. Superhero Hype notes that everywhere from Two-Face and Clayface to Hush and the Court of Owls is being thrown around, and a popular theory is Hush, Thomas Elliot. Fans point out an Easter egg in Elliot Bridge seen in the first film. They say that's a hint. Reeves once said he thought Hush is a really interesting character to do, which keeps imaginations going. The Court of Owls is always a popular rumor since the first movie touched on Gotham's secret elite. Fans think this society could escalate Bruce's troubles next. I agree. There's also chatter about more grounded foes, maybe Black Mask or even a revamped Mr. Freeze, so you don't have the goofy ice gun or the sci-fi tech like the Penguins. It would be like the Penguins world. It would be grounded. And then one wild rumor claims Robin, a young Dick Grayson, could show up. Maybe he's a 13-year-old orphan that Bruce befriends. Some say that could actually happen. It's all unconfirmed, but if that was true, that would be big. I mean, all that being said, remember, Gunn's warning was out there. Most of this is fan wishful thinking until we hear official news. Gunn called out Clayface Scarecrow rumors as totally made up with no script. So take all these theories with a grain of salt, but what we do know for sure, Pattinson's Bruce and Farrell's Penguin are back, and there will be other villains, brand new threats. So let's recap it and tie it up with a bow, which is what we do on this channel. Reeves has a script in hand and cameras are aiming to roll early 2026. Pattinson will jump off Dune 3 and right into Batman 2, the famous back-to-back shoot plan. Warner Brothers is hanging on to that 2027 release date as of now, meaning any delay could push it actually further, could push it into 2028, which I think would be a really bad thing. But insiders, they seem cautiously optimistic for the schedule we have. Behind the scenes, James Gunn is actively defending Reeves from backlash, telling people to be patient. Remember, Reeves' Batman is likely staying in its own mini-universe for now. Don't expect crossovers, but then again, you never know. As for what's happening in the movie, it's mostly guesswork. We know Colin Farrell's coming back and Bruce will face new big bads, and Gunn and Reeves haven't confirmed names yet. Fans think Hush, Court of Owls. We'll see. I mean, who knows? Could be something completely different, but that's the fun in speculating. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.